I'm Erin, and this is the Clothes Erin Sews. My channel is all about sustainable sewing, creative refashioning, and personal style. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss a thing from me. I post new videos most Mondays, and I love the conversations we're having in the comment section, so make sure to keep that up. I also post my outfit of the day and sneak peeks into what I'm working on over on Instagram, and I'd love to see you over there as well. Today I'm sharing everything I sewed up in the month of July. If you missed my July sewing plans video, I'll make sure to link it up here and in the description box so you can go check that out when you're done watching this one. So the big question is, did I stick to my plans? And the answer is sort of. I had plans for 6 items for the month, and I did sew up 6 items, but not all of them were what I had planned. Besides my plans for the actual projects that I wanted to complete this month, I didn't really have a scheduled plan as to how I would complete my projects. So that's why it's a little bit all over the place this month. I do plan on adding a little bit more structure for myself in August. Also, about a week ago, I started having troubles with my sewing machine and I can't figure out what's wrong with it, although I do have a plan to get it worked out. At this moment in time, I can't sew anything. So that's been frustrating, and that's slowed down my production as well. And not to mention that it's summer vacation here and everybody is home in my house, including my husband, who is a public school teacher. And so not only are my boys and my husband, everywhere I turn, I also get distracted because I just want to hang out with them and enjoy their company while they're here. I do have a more structured plan for August just so my head doesn't explode, and I'll tell you more about it in my video next week. So let's get on with the video, find out what I made, what I didn't make, and how it worked out for me. I did structure this video pretty well, so I'm going to leave timestamps for each section of the video. So that way, if you just want to skip ahead to the sections that you're most interested in, you can go ahead and do that. As far as the measurements and the size ranges that these patterns that I used fall into, I'm going to leave all the information in the description box. That way I'm not just repeating myself over and over again, because I did use a lot of Seamwork patterns and the sizing for each pattern is basically the same. Also, I'm going to tell you about my current measurements, and I'll leave that written in the description box as well. My height is 5 feet 4 inches or 162.6 centimeters. My high bust is 32 inches or 81.3 centimeters. My bust measures 34 inches or 86.4 centimeters. That's a 2-inch difference between my high bust and my bust measurements, which puts me into a sewing B cup. My waist is 28 inches or 71.1 centimeters. My hips are 37 inches or 94 centimeters. So first I'm going to tell you all about the projects that I did plan and did complete this month. The first thing I finished was my bias cut wrap skirt, which is a Seamwork Laura. It's made out of a Brussels washer linen rayon blend in the color Natural, which I got from fabric.com. I made a size 6 and it fits perfectly, and I did make a few modifications to the pattern to make it work better for me. First, I omitted the tie closure as well as the button loops on the back waistband of the skirt that help keep the ties in place. Bows aren't really my thing, and so instead, even though I haven't done it yet, I do plan on making some buttonholes and buttons to keep the skirt closed up. The problems that I had with this pattern were all user error. I had never made a bias cut skirt before, let alone with a curved waistband, which is mostly cut on the bias as well. I had a little bit of a panic when I went to pin the waistband to the skirt to sew them together, and I had way more skirt than I did waistband, and I thought I had cut it out wrong or maybe cut something the wrong size, and I was really upset with myself. But when I went back and checked the patterns that I traced, made sure that I did in fact cut out the right size of everything, and I did check to make sure the patterns measured up against each other, and that was fine. And then I was worried, well, maybe when I was sewing the skirt together, the waist portion of the skirt panels were stretched out on the bias, but when I placed the pattern onto the skirt, everything was fine. It was all measuring together, so I just went for it. Instead of pinning the waistband to the skirt, I just started at one end and kept sewing till I got to the other end, and everything fit together perfectly. So all my panic and freak out was for nothing. So then in my rush to get it finished so I could move on to the next project, since I had so many planned, I think I skipped something in the instructions, or maybe I even stopped reading the instructions and completed it on my own. I hemmed the skirt before I had let it hang and possibly drop, and it did drop a little bit, but you know what? I think I'll probably be the only person to notice this. It's not enough of a problem for me to take it apart and go in and chop it and fix it. It's perfectly fine, perfectly imperfect, but it's good. One thing I would change about this pattern is the manner in which the skirt is attached to the waistband. It's just finished with a serged edge, and it's a little bit messy to me. I would have liked to enclose some of that seam allowance and maybe used some bias tape to make it a little bit more clean. So if I ever make it again, I'm going to write a note to future Erin and let her know that the finishing on the inside of the skirt should be a little bit cleaner than what is suggested in the instructions. But I do understand why the pattern was written the way it was. Seamwork patterns are supposed to be sort of on the basic side, beginner friendly, and easy to assemble in an afternoon. So their patterns aren't really written for the nicest of finishings, which is fine for me most of the time. But in this instance, I would have liked a cleaner finish on the waistband. That's it. Overall, I love my skirt. I can't wait to wear it. I can't wait to sew some buttonholes on it and buttons so I can get it on my body. I don't have a lot of neutrals in my closet, so I'm excited to have this one. It's gonna go with a lot of items and be a nice way to sort of subdue my outfits when I'm not feeling as colorful as my wardrobe might suggest. I don't always feel that way. Sometimes I want neutrals, and I don't have any. Okay. Next, I completed this woven tank top. It's a Seamwork Greta, and it's in a pink E-Cot by Cave Facet, and I got the fabric a couple years ago from Stone Mountain and Daughter. I don't think they have it anymore. It is a quilting cotton, but it's really lightweight and lovely to wear. And once I get this all fixed up, I can't wait to also have this on my body and maybe even wear it with the skirt I just told you about. I made a size 6, and that was based on my high bust measurement. And then I did a 1-inch small bust adjustment, or 2.5 centimeters. I also lowered the apex by 1 3/4 inches, or 4.4 centimeters. Also, I've lost a little bit of weight since cutting it out, I think, because I definitely should have made a size or 2 smaller than it is. I haven't lost that much weight, but I think this pattern may run big. It's one of the older Seamwork patterns, and I've heard many complaints about the sizing being strange or off, or the ease being too much. So anyway, the sizing is wrong for me. It's way, way, way too big. And now I need to take it in on the side seams and on the facing, and I'm I'm not looking forward to that, but it will be worth it because, like I said, the fabric's so lightweight and lovely. It'll be really nice for our extra hot days, and that's why we sew our clothes, right? So I know exactly what to do because I put it all together. And the way I feel about it is, you know, I'll feel better about it when it fits. How's that? On to my unplanned yet completed list. So first on this list is something I just have to get out of the way. It's a secret project that I can't tell you anything about. I did a pattern test for Amy Nicole Patterns, and I'm really, really excited not only about the pattern, but about the garment that I made with it, and I can't wait to share it with you all. You know, it'll be all over my Instagram as soon as the pattern is released, and I'll also tell you about it here on YouTube too. So stay tuned for that, and in the meantime, I'll link Amy Nicole's YouTube channel below, as well as her Instagram and her company website. So while I can't tell you what I made from Amy Nicole Patterns, I can tell you it's a great company that you should check out if you're interested. Okay, so my next unplanned and completed project is this fabulous t-shirt dress that I just want to wear all day, every day. I want to sleep in it and just wear it the next day, and it's been hard for me not to put it on every day. I love it. The reason I made this t-shirt dress, even though it was supposed to be in my August or maybe even my September plans, was because I already had it all cut out. Sometime in June I did that, and one day I just felt like sewing, but I didn't want to trace a pattern or cut anything out, and this was just kind of staring me in the face, and so I went for it, and I'm really glad that I did. I can't wear it on the super hot days, but on the milder summer days, it's the best thing ever. The pattern I used is a Seamwork Jane, and which is just a regular t-shirt pattern, one of my go-tos. And I just lengthened the pattern, I think by around 12 inches. That may have included the 1-inch hem that I did, 1¼ inch hem. I don't know. Anyway, say 10 to 15 inches is the amount that I lengthened it. And it is pretty short, but it's not scandalous, only when I raise my arms. But I think the length is perfect. I don't mind showing a little leg, and let's be honest, I am at home most of the time anyway, so it's the perfect thing to just kind of lounge around in or do housework in. If you don't have a t-shirt dress, and I didn't until now, I highly recommend figuring one out for yourself, getting the perfect shape for yourself, and just making a ton of them. That's my plan anyway. The fabric I used is a mid-weight cotton jersey from Style Maker Fabrics in the color Rose. What problems did I have with this project? None. I whipped it up in an hour or two, just because it was all cut out. And it's a pattern I've made several times. It came together really quickly. And as to how I feel about it, I think you might be able to tell. I'm not sure. Let me know. But I love it. I'm super excited about it. It's probably my favorite make of the month, and of quite a while. I don't know how long. I love it. And finally, my last two completed items you may have already seen my video on. It's where I took one shirt that was not getting any love in my closet, and I made it into 2 reversible dresses. I'll link that video up here and down below if you missed it. So basically what I did was to take this top, which is a shirt number 1 by 100 Acts of Sewing, and I unpicked it, took the whole thing apart, and I used some of it to make this dress here and some of it to make the dress I'm wearing. And I made them reversible just for extra versatility. One of my goals for future makes is to make my pieces as versatile as possible. And I'm so pleased with the way these two dresses turned out. I hated the color combination of the mint green with the hot pink. I thought I would like it. It's a complementary color scheme, but when it came to putting it on and pairing with other items in my closet, I just was never feeling it. So refashion time it was. I'm really pleased with the color combinations that I came up with now, using all fabrics from my stash, even scrap fabrics. The pink and green dress is really pieced together more than you can even tell from the video. And I almost thought that it wasn't going to work out, but I made it work. It's not the cleanest patchwork job. I'm not even going to show you the inside. As far as keeping things on grain, that's not really there. Even though the patchwork is a little bit shoddy, I'm really pleased with the spirit of these two garments. Just taking one garment that I would have otherwise gotten rid of, probably would have ended up in the landfill, and I turned it into two garments that will get a lot of love from me. I have been wearing these non-stop. It's fun to pull it out of the closet and decide which way I'm going to wear it today. It's comfortable and pretty cool too, I think. So make sure to watch that video if you missed it. So the original garment was a size extra small, so that's what I was working with. I took the original pattern and figured out where I was going to crop the actual top, and then extended the lines and added seam allowances to make it a proper dress. I probably lengthened it again around 12 inches or 30.5 centimeters. Again, it's pretty short, but it's just the way I like it. When I raise my arms, nothing shows. So I might look at my notes to tell you all about the fabrics, just so I don't miss anything, since there's a lot of fabrics here for the two dresses. So first off, I used a lot of Mariner cloth, which is by Allison Glass for Andover Fabrics. The hot pink was from my original top, and the olive colorway was from a shirt dress that I made a little bit ago. I also have a video for that. Make sure to check it out. I ended up getting the olive colorway from two different stores because I didn't originally have enough for my shirt dress. So the first time I got it was from Style Maker Fabrics. And then when I needed more, of course, Style Maker was out of that colorway, and I found it at Stash Fabrics. Also from my original top was a 100% linen in the mint colorway, and that is from Stone Mountain and Daughter. I also used a Brussels washer linen rayon blend in the color denim. That's this one here. And that was from fabric.com. I was super excited to use my leftovers of what is quite possibly my favorite fabric of all time. It is this cotton stretch sateen in a black and white graffiti print, and I originally got it from Stone Mountain and Daughter. That was a few years ago, but I did recently spot it on Style Maker Fabrics, which is awesome. So if I can find it, I'll link it in the description, and maybe you can snag yourself a yard or two and make your own super cool item. The last fabric I used in one of the shirts was that pink ikat, and that was from Stone Mountain and Daughter as well. And I put that in there. It wasn't part of my original plan, but it's because I ran out of the fabrics I planned on using. But I am very pleased with the way it turned out. So very quickly, I want to go over the projects that I planned, started, and didn't complete, my whips or my UFOs, and let you know where I'm at with them and if I plan on continuing with them. First is my green 1970s dress with the white embroidery. The pattern is Vintage Simplicity 6508 from 1974. So as far as the progress I've made on this one, I have made pattern adjustments, I've cut out all my pieces, and I've started the embroidery on the pockets. I did have an issue with the iron-on transfer embroidery pattern. It didn't work. I don't know if it's because it's so old, or it just didn't work on my fabric. But I've had to hand mark in where my X's start and stop because I don't trust myself to do any sort of a job just doing it off the cuff. But I've run into a little bit of an issue because the hem of the sleeve is curved, which means the X's need to be spaced out a certain way. And I got really frustrated just using a ruler and my marking tool. So I'm gonna have to rethink whether or not this embroidery is important to the design of the dress, and if it is, another way of marking the pattern onto my pattern pieces. Going into this project, I sort of knew that I was gonna get held up on the embroidery, even though it's a simple pattern. Just, getting it done before I sew together the dress, I knew was going to be an issue. So here we are. It happened. The things I have left for this project are to either complete the embroidery or change my plan with the embroidery and sew it all up. And I do plan on completing this in August, so check back with me later to find out if it happened. The next items that I started but have not yet completed is the Seamwork Cow pajama set. So I have taped together the PDF, I have made pattern adjustments, and I have traced the pattern, and that's it. The things I have left to do are to cut out the pattern pieces in my fabric and serge most of it together, finish it with my sewing machine. I hope it's fixed. I hope it's fixed soon. And I also plan on completing this in August, hopefully soon, because I'm in dire need of some hot weather pajamas. And the last thing planned, started, not completed, is my gingham shirt dress. I'm using an out-of-print McCall's M4769 from the year 2005. It's been in my stash since that time. It's a classic shirt dress. I'm making it sleeveless in a black and white tiny gingham. That's the plan anyway. So far I have traced and adjusted some of the pattern pieces, but not all of them yet. So I have to finish that. I have to cut it all out and sew it all together. This project is a little bit more involved, which is probably why I've procrastinated on it. It's not as easy as a already cut out t-shirt dress, but I am really excited to add this to my wardrobe, and I also plan on completing it in August. No plans for abandoning any of these projects yet, which is a good sign. I do want them all, so I know what I have to do to make that happen. So reflecting on the month, I've never actually kept track of how many garments I've completed in a month, and that's not something that my brain will retain unless I do keep track of it. So that was fun to see. I was a little bit overwhelmed by the amount of projects, and while I didn't complete all the things I had planned, I did complete the same amount of items as I had planned on, so that's pretty good. I feel accomplished and productive in that way. I love everything that I made, including my pink tank top that's too big for me that I have to fix. So that's good. Nothing that I made that I hate. So what worked for me was having a loose plan that was not too rigid. I wasn't really worried about completing any of this, and it was nice to not put that pressure on myself. And having the plan kept me motivated and kept me focused on knowing that I wanted to make these items, and so these were kind of my only options of what to work on. I know I made things I didn't plan on, okay? Like, give me a break. I know you're judging me through the lens there. Just kidding. The only judgment that matters is our own, right? But that's normal for me to kind of make the plans, be excited about them, have them, and then have a squirrel moment and go off and do something else. But it all worked out in the end. I'm pleased with everything I planned in July. even the things I didn't finish, and I'm really pleased with all the things I did make this month. So there. The things I'll do differently for next month is to have my plan not be quite as loose. I'm going to tighten it up a little bit and add a little bit more structure to it. I'll talk more about that in next week's video, and I think I have some good ideas. One thing I do have to come to terms with is I will need to adjust my August plans to include these July plans that didn't get finished, and so I know some things are going to be pushed off for the future. We still have a lot of summer left here. It doesn't usually start to cool down until mid-October, so I'm not really worried about continuing making summer items. I still have some time to not only complete them, but also get some wear out of them before the hot weather is over. So bringing it back all in, I'm really pleased with how my sewing month went for July. You know, I'm the only one that I have to answer to. This is my hobby. My deadlines are arbitrary. One thing in the back of my mind is, am I making too much? Am I showing too much? Do I have too much planned? But the answer to that is no. My summer wardrobe is small, and I find that I'm already getting bored with wearing the same few dresses over and over again. I haven't been posting exactly every day on Instagram my outfits of the day because they've just been kind of the same things repeated. So I'm excited to be continuing to add to my hot weather wardrobe. I don't feel like my plans are excessive or grand. This is what's working for me now. I don't think I will be able to sustain making 6 garments every month after month. But for now, this is where we're at, and that's how I finish sentences now. And the bottom line is I'm having a lot of fun, and just sewing is for my mental health. It's my passion. I love to work with my hands, and it's going really good. So that being said, that's it. I'll be back next week with my August sewing plans. My plans will include all hot weather garments using fabrics and notions from my own stash. If you enjoyed this video, I'll link another one up here and down below that you might like. Please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And check out my channel page. I have a ton of videos that I've been making over the course of the past few months that you might have missed, all about sustainable sewing, creative refashioning, and personal style. One more thing, remember, you have to wear something, so it might as well be fun and feel great. Thanks for watching. Bye. No. So and then kind of put it over the seam. I don't know how to describe this. What's it say?
Hi, this is the clothes Finn sews.
What am I talking about? Oh, I've learned a lot about myself in the past year, and that's stupid.
And that's